and welcome to my video. Today, I'm going to be ranking Shao Kahn's designs from best to worst. First, let's create the tier list name. I win, harping back to his famous quote back in the MK2 era where he, after winning a match against someone, winning a round, winning the match, would say, I win. Really iconic. I am Shao Kahn. Another very famous quote he has. Feel the wrath of Shao Kahn. I actually feel the power of Shao Kahn. Same thing. No. Get that out of here. Hold on. Apologies. I don't know how that got up there. Okay, you suck. For C tier. Really, it's, yeah. And for bottom tier, another all famous quotes he has. I use all famous quotes for ranking for the tier list. Okay, now the stats out of the way, let's begin. Starting off, we have Mortal Kombat 2. Straight away, immediately goes into I win. What is there to really say about Mortal Kombat 2 that hasn't been stated by so many YouTubers nowadays? The design is straight iconic. One of the first things anyone thinks about when they refer to Shao Kahn is his iconic Mortal Kombat 2 design. It just wins. Every part of it is classic. It really adds to the intimidation level that Midway was going for when they made him. It's a great design overall. There's been improvements here or there making this design even better, but to be honest, this design still holds true and still deserves to be in the I win tier. Moving on, we have Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance. Not many people talk about his Deadly Alliance design. If you play Armageddon, that's the render they use for his picture in the select menu. It's a very iconic design. Let me pull up a better picture of it here to show. The design isn't too clear in this current tier list. I have found problems with I found these same problems before with it. Let's see. Okay. Let's get another image showing off this design. Tell me you have some. Okay. Well, the images had to be 2 and 1, honestly. Not my favorite, but here we are. Here's a better image of it. First of all, the extra addition of the shoulder spikes really add to the aesthetic. The fact that he has more spikes on top of the helmet also really add to it. And, oh, here's the perfect image. And let's not forget the cape. The cape is iconic. You're going to see through my tier list, but my favorite designs of him, especially very top tier designs, are the ones with the cape. Because the cape is just classic. the cape just adds to his intimidation level. Very few MK characters actually wear capes. Like, the other two that are notable for wearing capes is Raiden and Dagon, and the fandom can't even say those characters are as iconic with wearing capes as Shao Kahn is. His cape is legendary. Of course, this harkens back to his original design. As always, the shoulder armor is iconic. If I haven't stated enough for the designs, I prefer overall when his shoulder armor has 3 spikes. Like this, for instance. 3 spikes, iconic. Really gets a good vote when it's 3 spikes. MK11 completely fails at this. This is the only design, other than MK9, that gets a pass for having more than 3 spikes. Because this design is just classic. I hope one day they use this in a video game. I hope one day one of his playable appearances, one of his costumes, includes this iconic rendition of his MK2 design. But seeing how they more like to focus on the dragon scales instead of actually the cool human looking design until you actually get a look under his helmet, then you find out how unhuman he is. Speaking of actually what his face used to look like, I'm going to take a side step for a minute and actually show what his design looked like before. And here we are. This is what his face looked like in MK2 Under the Mask. If you can't... Wait, here's a clear image. Here's him facing the camera, and you can see he has these horns on his head. He has pointed ears. He has the red glowing eyes. This is what he used to look like back in the day. And you know what? Compared to this, I really questioned the design for this, because who decided that this would be a good idea to make him look like? Like, the official... We're gonna get more into why MK11 eventually, but compared to that original face, this face design just does not work. It's so ugly. But this is a tier list, so yeah, let's get back to it. Deadly Lines. I'm not ranking these two, they're just MK2. Just shorter. Shaolin Monks. Box art. This wasn't his official design, but this render's a little small. The picture's a little small, but I like what they did with Shaolin Monks. Now let's go back and I want to actually bring up an image, a better image of what Shaolin Monk's design actually looks like, because it's a little small on the screen. Alright. Do we get it? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. Get MK11 out of here. Oh, here. Okay. Nope, here we go. Nope, a little too small. Here we go. First of all, the helmet. The helmet is slightly different, but everything else about the MK2 design stays the same. But I actually like the helmet. For an update of the MK2 helmet, it looks pretty good. It's like an additional helmet he wears. If you've seen the MK9 comics, this is a previous design he's wearing, which harbors back to my opinion that every single design we've seen on screen, other than 11, especially for, other than 11, of course, Deception, is something that that MK9 Shao Kahn used to wear. I also want to think the same for Midway Shao Kahn, that he would wear every single designs before MK vs DC. And yeah, I really like it. It's a really good design. So the official render, I do like it slightly more than MK2, mostly because the cape. I'm a big cape fan. So, moving on, we have Shaolin Monks, the official design. Strangely enough, he seemed to be wearing a cape in one of the cutscenes, even though he wasn't wearing a cape before. It must be an error of some kind, because this was like the whole stage, the whole time he was sitting in the throne, he never had the cape. Also, bring back the blood staff. The blood staff was super cool, and I wish they brought it back in games. This design is just an update of MK2. It's just graphically updated. And yeah, it looks good. It's iconic and it really grows on you. Moving on, we have the best design, in my opinion, Mortal Kombat Deception. If you've seen by my profile pic, this is my favorite Shao Kahn design. Pull up an image. Of course, because it's a really classic design. Let's see. We got. It's so hard to find images. Why is there so many helmet images? Especially of the 11 helmet. Oh, this is tricky. Let me pull it up more. Sorry, I like to actually show off some good images. MK2 with a cape. Instantly iconic. That should be a design. MK9, MK11. Why is there so much MK11 here? I don't care for MK11. Oh, is that the 11 render with the MK2 design? Gosh, that's bad. MK9 without the helmet, he still kept the same helmet. He still kept the same face. Till 11. We'll get into it. Oh, crap. Let me do a more. Oh, that's why. Wrong slide. Sorry. No. Alright. Here we are. Let's see what we got. A lot of 11. A lot of 11. A lot of 11. Keep this DC. Deception. Okay. And see. Not the best image. I forget. Yeah, this one will do. Alright, so here's the part I like to talk about this. First of all, the updated helmet where he actually uses the skull mask. The skull mask is really awesome, actually. This whole updated design, how he trades out the silver for gold, how the loincloth is different, how he has less spikes on his, his leg armor, how he has that samurai-inspired leg armor, how he wears those sandals, just really iconic. Everything about this design screams Shao Kahn. It screams his design directly after the 2D era, which is something that defines him even better as a character. I really like his Deception design. The alternate is okay though, but the Deception, and there's just so many good images out there of his Deception render. Like, there's so many iconic poses, like when he's putting his hands on his hips. It's very cool. When he's shown in both endings, the way he smashes Onaga in his ending. The way he's just watching over as Goro rips Katana to pieces. It's just the iconic status of this design. is embedded in my brain as my favorites overall. Because when I think of Shao Kahn, other than thinking of MK2 or any other design like that, I do think of those designs too, but I think about this design. Straightforward, that's the design I always harbor back to. Because the deception render is just very iconic. Also, the red glowing eyes became more prevalent in this design. Alright, moving on. We have his alternate design, which is basically when he was Outworld's protector. I say it goes in Feel the Power of Shao Kahn. It's not a bad design. It's just what he was before he became Outworld's Emperor. It's before he gained the soul manipulation. It's before he became Outworld's Emperor. So that's really what gets into my mind. Moving on, we got MK versus DC, and instantly this design, it doesn't get the same treatment as Deception. Mostly because the shoulder armor and the new loincloth. Like, no, absolutely not. The shoulder armor going upwards more is just kind of strange. Because Shao Kahn's shoulder armor has always been very straight. It's always covered his shoulder. Because that's the point of the armor in general. It's always been shaped in such a way. But the fact that this shoulder armor bends up really throws me off. Also the loincloth too. Like, it's just not as cool as his Deception loincloth. It's not as cool as the Deception one. Because the Deception one is extremely iconic. Moving on, we have MK9. MK9 is here. There are some things I like about MK9 more than MK2. I know, some of the fans won't be happy about this, but I like the leg armor a little more. I like his arm. The armor he wears over his arms. It's a little cool. The shoulder pads, I would have preferred the three spikes instead of the 4. And of course, I would have preferred him to have the samurai-inspired leg armor like he has in Deception, but I'll give it a pass. Still a very iconic design. Also, the skull mask is pretty cool. The fact that this is the second design to include the fangs. I know MK vs DC did it first, but it's more prevalent in MK9 because he's in MK9 more than he was in MK vs DC. Moving on, we have, well, the MK9 design that is shown in the trailers, in the endings, some of the endings mostly. It's pretty good, to be fair. It is not by any means a bad design. The only thing that I don't really like about it is the fact that it has the yellow belt, and the fact that it has the sharp fangs for the skull mask instead of having the two sharp fangs. The helmet looks a little similar to Deception, but other than that, it's perfectly fine. It's what I would have preferred his armor to be like. I would prefer the shoulder armor be used for the MK9 design, keep the MK9 helmet, and the leg armor from this design be used for the MK9 design. And then you would have the perfect blend of the MK2 and the MK9 design, making it even better than it was in MK9. in my opinion at least. Moving on, we have the MK9 version of his Shaolin Monk's box art design. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. The only reason it is not as top tier as the Shaolin Monk's design is because the horns. The horns go straight up. They do not go out to the sides of his helmet like they should. It's a little weird, but it's fine. Moving on. Oh, great. The point of the video that I am regretting the most. Mortal Kombat 11. One of the worst designs ever permitted in my opinion. First of all, the oversized helmet. I don't know what they were thinking for his oversized helmet, but it is not good at all. Like, the helmet is completely oversized. Why he has such large horns on top of it that go stretch up towards the sky. It's just such a radically different design from the MK2, MK9, and everything that came before. And it's just such a shame to look at. Like, one of the most creepiest parts of it is the fingers. I don't know what they were thinking with the fingers, but the fingers look very weird. Like, it's not normal humanoid fingers he has in this design. He has very ugly fingers. I noticed this when I played when I watched the second death battle he was in, where he faces Akuma and he rips off Akuma's arm, and you see those fingers and you're like, are those his fingers? My first thought when looking at this design was, is that Shao Kahn? Who is he? Who is that? I didn't even know he was Shao Kahn at the time, because he looked so drastically different from the actual Shao Kahn. There's no offense to anyone who actually likes this design. If you like this design, like it. For all, it's your opinion, after all. My opinion is just the fact that I do not like this design. I never have, and I likely never will. I'm not going to warm up to this design. It's like the toes are another talking point because he has such ugly toes. And I don't really care about toe design, but I don't want to see those things. Why he is wearing something that strippers wear is another questionable point. Why none of the shoulder armor is actually symmetrical, because he doesn't even have the proper shoulder spikes at all. Like, there's just so much wrong with this design. Like, just look at the... It's like, I don't know why they decided to put a spike on each of his sandals. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. The chest is a really weird color. Like, I don't know if those are his ribs sticking out or something like that, but it looks really weird. I don't know what the heck is on his arm at the same time. Like, those spikes coming out of his arm for some strange reason. The reason why he has only one arm guard for some strange reason. There's just like so much wrong with this design, in my opinion. And the sharp teeth, why would he doesn't need that. Shao Kahn is very known for having very good dental, surprisingly. But just those yellow, sharp teeth are just not the go for. Especially in my opinion. I don't want to harbor on this design too much, but it gets one of my lowest spots, and, well, here's another look at his ugly face, and I do not know what they were thinking for this, but the nose is too oversized, too. There's like a lot wrong with this design. The fact that his back is completely covered up, the fact that it's like it's literally nothing like his previous design. I mean, I know the previous design wasn't fully in line with MK2, but at least it had some of the attributes that MK2 has always put forward. Oh, and that's him pretending to be the MK2 version, and it just looks atrocious on him. I don't know what they were thinking for the dragon skills. They also changed his origin story, making him no longer Outworld's protector. Now he's just half dragon, and like one of the Dragon King's general. So they nerfed him. They made his design weaker, and they just disrespected the character. I'll get into my feelings about NetherRealm Shao Kahn in later videos, but I'm not ranking all of these designs because I really don't want to. This is slightly better only because the armor covers up all the draconic elements. This is also slightly better for the same exact reason. Onslaught, better. This one is also better. I don't like the dragon skills, but I like that they changed the helmet. This is like his MK, really not his MK9. It doesn't even look like it, but moving on, we have General Shao. And first of all, General Shao is a stupid name. I will be doing a video on him explaining my dislike of his characterization and what they've done to him. This character, it's just terrible in general. The horns do not help. I like that they toned down the dragon skills a little bit, though the back of his head is a very weird color. His face design is better, but it's not saying much when you have to improve the atrocious face design they decided to make him have in MK11. And, well, his Union of Light and other skins, his Dark Shao skin, his wrist skin, nope. Deception render, the only thing I have a problem with is the horns on the head, and more of the dragon skills, but that's really it. And, well, it doesn't really look much like the Deception. It's more of an amalgamation of the Deception design, which is kind of disrespectful because, as you know, Deception is my favorite design they've included as him, and not doing justice towards that Deception design is abysmal. It still is good enough for me, and if they had him wear this design in his next, and if they turned him into Shao Kahn and had him wear this design, I would be all for it. I would be all for allowing this design to be put up there. Alright, moving on, we have his MK2 skin design. First of all, there are some problems with it, but it does a lot more right. It feels a lot more like Shao Kahn. It is missing some of the elements that made his previous designs good, which is why it's not in I win tier, but I'll take it. I'll overall take the respect. They've given more respect to him in this design. I'm not a big fan of the dragon skills, but the dragon skills are very much toned down in this. From what I've seen in this skin, there's not much dragon skills. The fact that they even removed the horns to pay more respect to the actual design than they did with Deception is also impressive. The loincloth is cool. I know he's wearing pants and all, but it doesn't really matter if he wears pants or not. At the end of the day, I just want a design that actually respects the original, and this gives way more respect to the original than NetherRealm has given after MK9. Moving on, we have this image of Shao Kahn from the 1995 movie. it is an overall good design, for the most part. So the only reason it's way down is because you only get to see it for a small amount of time. Though I really like it. Moving on, Defenders of the Realm. It's not a bad design by any mix of the word. It's kind of generic, but it still is Shao Kahn, and I still appreciate the effort they put in even though the animation was limited. They still made him look way more like Shao Kahn than, well, MK11 ever tried to. Moving on, we have his design from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I don't really have much to say about this. It's not the best design. The skull mask looks fake. A lot of this design looks fake. And the fact that the actor took off his helmet most of the time makes this design go downhill. I don't like that they take off the helmet more often. I really don't like that. It's ridiculous. He looks ridiculous. He doesn't. They didn't even try to make him look like the face design either. It's like one of the weakest versions of the attempts to make him. He just looks like a normal dude. I'll get into his characterization eventually. Moving on, we have Conquest. I know Conquest is not the most accurate version of him, but he has the skull mask, and he's overall too iconic not to put in a higher tier. Conquest, other than Midway Shao Kahn, is one of my favorite versions of the character, and I'm going to be doing a full video explaining why he's so good as a Shao Kahn. We'll get into that in future videos, but as of right now, that's Conquest. Moving on, the worst design of all, Legacy. He just looks like a normal Roman general. His characterization is better than MK11, but he only has one. He only has like one episode, but he's still an improvement over MK11 thus far. NetherRealm really needs to get their act together, because if Legacy, a TV show that only had him in one episode, can do a better job than anything in MK11, they're really gonna struggle. Moving on, we have Legends films. It's very much a mix between MK2 and MK9. It's like they did the more MK2 styled helmet there. They did the more MK9 styled armor. And it's overall a good design. It's a little generic. The black armor is a little weird, especially since he usually wears red, but I give it a pass for being as it should be. It's like way more respect they put on the character by using his previous design, which made him Outworld's protector, which for any dude who don't know, he's basically Kratos, because that's what he was described as in the original timeline. One of the quotes restating, it's like he fed off of combat. Combat empowered him. Because that's what a god of war would do. Of course, he's not truly a god, as fiction has a very loose terminology when it comes to godhood, but he still counts. I might as well discuss some of these designs. First of all, this Deception, and it's okay. He's a little smaller than he should be, but at least it harbors back to his MK2 design. This one, slightly better than the MK11 design, though that's not saying much. The helmet looks ridiculous. This one, this one, worse than the 11 design, because he shows more of his chest. And I really don't want to see any more of that. This one, slightly better. This one, slightly better because the helmet's smaller. This one, purple is just not a color he should be wearing. And yeah, those are the designs of Shao Kahn from this tier list that I would actually rank. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Though I should probably move some of the designs down a little more. Put some of the tier list, yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much it. This is my tier list for anyone who's interested. Let's talk about some more designs, I guess. Well, we can talk about some. Yeah, the Annihilation model head. Gosh, it looks stupid. His face looks very stupid when he's doing the quotes. I understand it's more. If you want to watch him. Oh, yeah, speaking of this, he was the guy that the Terminator killed. If you watch the first Terminator movie, that's the same guy he killed, so. Yeah, that's something. Not much to really say on that. This one is pretty cool, gotta admit. This guy is from an interesting TV show that went off the air. Nice. There looks like to be a lot of fan-made designs. I don't do fan art. Do not expect me to do fan art anymore. If you want my pick of the perfect design of Shao Kahn, it's going to be Deception, the Deception render, with the sharp fangs on the side of his helmet, with a cape that has, like, I guess some kind of insignia on the back of it, with the Shredder claws, because I really do like the Shredder claws. You see on YouTube a lot that they do a lot of fan designs. They like to give him a little more to work with, and I appreciate it, but I prefer him to be more humanoid, and wish they would harbor back to his more humanoid design. I wish NetherRealm would drop this more dragon scale design. The only way I would ever accept it is if they go back to his previous characterization. Oh, and here, for those who not know, here's Shao Kahn's ugly looking fingers for MK11. I mean, I don't know what to really say about these things. They just look atrocious, and they really caught me off guard when I saw them. Like, that's supposed to be his fingers? NetherRealm really needs to go back to the spikes on his armor, because MK11 completely dropped it. I don't like the studio's abundance of not giving a crap about the spikes. The spikes were one of the coolest parts of his design. It boggles the mind what they've been thinking. And for those who don't like NetherRealm Shao Kahn that much, well, you're in luck, because one of my videos is going to be me explaining why NetherRealm Shao Kahn is such a downgrade compared to Midway. If you like NetherRealm Shao Kahn, please don't take offense to my video. It is, after all, my opinion. And feel free to comment if you disagree with me. I will take your comments as respectfully as possible. Let's see. This is pretty cool. Well, it should have the spikes. This is also pretty cool. It has the spikes. A lot of people do fan art on DeviantArt. I've seen a lot of it before. Ha! Pretty funny. Comparison right here, comparing Annihilation to MK2, who Annihilation is shorter than MK2. One of the few creepiest things Shao Kahn has ever done is the fact that he licked blood. He licked blood after killing Kung Lao, so that's something. And on this note, for those who have tuned into my videos, thank you. I really appreciate your support, and I will continue uploading videos. This is Conquest when he actually wears a similar design closer to his MK2, and it looks great. Thank you everyone for your support. If you like my content, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you don't, thank you for tuning in anyways. This is Shao Kahn 123, and I will be signing off now. Thank you all, and God bless you.